Happy Crafternoon, friends. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Today, we are continuing on with our Master Layout series, and we're going to do a deep dive into Master Layout 7. Master Layout 7 was designed to be a mini Slimline Master Layouts die set. And this is one of my favorite types of cards to make, especially around the holidays or graduations, weddings, birthdays, because this is also a great size card to be a money holder. And I love the little bit of extra height that you get for some of your longer stamps. It works beautifully for that. And you can send a mini Slimline card for no additional postage because it takes a standard check size envelope, and that goes just for a regular forever stamp. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun today. I don't have a lot of elements designed, so I'm going to make some on the fly as we go. And I do have all of my little panels cut out today. I don't know where all of my elements went. I know they're around here somewhere, but we'll make what we need today. Why not? It is time to make some new elements, and I do think I have a little bag of them over off to the side there just in case we run out of time, but I think we'll be fine. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Happy Crafternoon.
How are you today?
I am better
than horrible. Tom,
as they say.
Are you ready for a fun weekend?
I am.
Yeah. The weekend is just around the corner, and weekends always mean craft time for me anyway.
They do.
Yep.
Weekdays do as well.
Weekdays do as well, yep. I was up late last night working on this, and I'm so excited about today. So
Yeah.
do you have a word of the day for later?
I have actually a triple word of the day.
Ooh.
Triple word, triple letter score, triple word score, word of the day.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah.
It's like playing Scrabble around here today.
3 for.
3 for.
One of those.
Exciting. All right. Well,
All right.
we're going to get started then, and we will look forward to that. So I had to start a new binder. Now, the binder size that I have been using is the 1.5 inch size binder. Now, some of you started with 3-inch binders, so you're probably right in the middle of your binder. Some of you started with 1-inch binders, and you've already moved on to your second binder. My binder is a 1.5 inch binder. I just grabbed mine at Walgreens, but I'm kind of mad at myself for not going bigger. However, with my hands and my arthritis, maybe this is good that we just have separate volumes. So my first binder is volume 1 through 6. And today I am starting volume 7 through 12. So let's take a look at today's master layouts. So I printed a new sheet to put in this binder, and I think what I'm going to do is maybe I will just get my my label maker and just do a little label that says Master Layouts 1 through 6 for my first binder and Master Layouts 7 through 12 for my second binder. But whatever you started with, it's totally fine. Some of you maybe only want to have 3 in a binder and have skinny binders. It's totally up to you. So on the blog, I've already uploaded the Master Layout sizing sheet for Master Layout 7. You can head over there at any time and download this sheet. Mine is not printed very well because I used my home printer, and my home printer is running out of ink. But I might reprint this one here at work. So this just tells you all of the sizes for the different dies that are in this set. And then we have our, I don't have this in here. Let me fix this. I was trying to put some new sheet protectors in. So I have my tri-cuts, as Yaya coined, one of our friends from our Facebook group. She said I should call these tri-cuts, and I think that's really cute because they are ways that you can try these out first. Now, normally with my tri-cuts, I do layer them up before I put them in here, but I ran out of time last night, and in case I need a couple extras, I will grab these and then replace my tri-cuts. But this is just my little envelope here. where I can try these for mixing and matching. You might not have this one for a lot of mixing and matching, but certainly this rectangle can be used with other master layout sets, as well as the circle, and then this whole little thing together that I'm going to show you in a little bit of how this all layers together beautifully. I'll show it to you right now. So this one, I'm going to get another color cardstock so you can see it a little bit better. But this one here is like a 3-piece layering panel that can be used separately. You can certainly use that separately if you have a larger greeting that you want to stamp in here. Or you can use these two separately if you want a little circle accent piece for something or for some of your smaller greetings. And this was designed to fit perfectly together to create a sandwich that looks like that. So it doesn't hide the decorative stitches, but it accents that center piece. So this is a great, useful little element in this Master Layouts 7 die set. So here I have the Master Layouts 7 idea sheet. This is also available now on the blog for printing. You can print this out and add it to your binder. And it gives you 4 ways to use this Master Layout set. Now, these are just ideas. There are plenty of other ways to use it, but I'll be kind of playing off of some of these ideas. I may shift a few things around, which is totally fine to do, but this kind of gives you an idea of how you can use it. And remember, all of these can be turned sideways as well. Now here I've made my Master Layouts kind of try me panels here, which is great because you can go ahead and lay some of your different florals or other elements on these to see how they will look. And remember that each of these can be used either vertically or horizontally. So maybe you want to do something where you've got some small elements and you want these as grounding panels and you're going to pop the elements on top. This is a great layout. I really love this layout, and I'll probably use this one today. This one is kind of sneaky and tricky because what I've done here with this one is I've actually used 2 of these panels, and I just trimmed the end off of each of them, and I lined them up and covered the raw seam. So this gives us the illusion that we've got this other beautiful long rectangle in here. And you know, I kind of like that idea. You can also use other strips from other master layout sets to go across the center here. But this gives you a whole different look just by cutting 2 of these panels and stacking them and then covering the raw edge. So you can see this is the same layout as this, but this is a little bit more plain. So maybe you've got a large stamp that works with this. This kind of gives you a little bit more of a focal area to add your elements on. So either way, it's going to look beautiful. Now, something else I wanted to show you, a couple of these might be retired, but let me see if I can find them in here. I hope I can. Yes, here we go. I don't know what's retired and what isn't yet, but some of you may have some of the older plates. We have some mini Slimline cover plates that were designed and coordinated to work with the Master Layout 7 set. So just as an example, this one I know is retired. I believe it's retired. Maybe it isn't retired. Maybe Brianne knows. But these will fit perfectly onto the mini Slimline card, and also they will layer in where the white piece is, so you can use the black panel from Master Layout 7 to do the accent piece. So I think, Brianne, if you can tell me what these are, and if any of them are still available, I would love to know, because I can use one of these today to show another way to use Master Layouts. So I'm going to ask Brianne if she's here. I think she's here. I know I saw her earlier. And Brianne, thank you for being here. You're so helpful. You're like my second brain so that I can be on the website looking for things at the same time. So, Tom, if you can get the names of these from Brianne, and also she'll let us know if they're still on the website. If it's not on the website, Brianne, don't worry about trying to figure out the name because they're discontinued. But some of our friends bought them when they were available, and I just want to show you how we can make this work together. Okay. So let's get started. Oh, something else I wanted to show you. So you might be looking at these and saying, these are really tiny, rose garden? Is that what she shared there? The Rose Mini Slimline plate? Ooh, it sounds like she's got a link for this one. This is the Rose Mini Slimline. Okay, I see it, Brianne. Oh, and the poppies are still there. Okay, great. Maybe they're all still there. I don't know. I don't feel like we would have retired this one, but you never know. That's awesome. Swirled flower. Okay, excellent. Well, I might use that swirled flower one today. Okay. So you might be looking at these going, these are so small for greetings. You know, I don't know that I have greetings that are that small. You absolutely do. And I'm going to show you a few sets that I pulled out that are perfect for this. And you may have some of these sets in your collection already. So this is So Many Sentiments. And look at how perfectly So Very Proud of You fits in there. Hello, friend. It's the little things. You make me smile. All of those are going to fit perfectly into these circles. And so you might be looking at some of these greetings in your collection and saying, I don't use them very much because all of the dies that I have are so big and they look weird, just like this tiny greeting in this big circle or this big rectangle. Or here you can use this die set to add that greeting. And it might look like a small greeting on the stamp set, but when you have this whole panel kind of featuring it, then it actually stands out quite a bit. So Many Sentiments is a good one. Also, a lot of you have our Guiding Light set. This is a really fun little mini set, and here's one, You Always Point Me in the Right Direction, which is so nice for the lighthouse image. And remember, you could do that lighthouse image up here. You could put it into a rectangle, and then you can add this element down here with that greeting. So that would be a whole other way to lay this out. And maybe we should make this card today because this would be a more masculine card. Also, this element right here, the compass, would fit perfectly in there if you wanted that to stand out a little bit more, and maybe have this panel down here, the lighthouse here, and then just be able to stamp You Are a Guiding Light down here. So lots of different ways to use this set with Master Layout 7. Then I know a lot of you already, I'm trying to think of things you already have so you don't feel like you have to buy anything new. You can just use this information. A lot of you already have the Postcards and More stamp set because we do a lot of postage cards. Well, look how cute that is. That fits so nicely into that circle and it just accents it so nicely. So maybe you would chop this off right here and add this little element or just the circle element onto one of your postage cards. You could definitely do that and then use the rest of these for the rest of the little boxes, but maybe have this in that circle popped over one of the postage things just to really accent it and make it stand out. Now we also have, this is a very old set and I'm sure some of you have it. It's this Spring Joy mini set. This is a real tiny little set. It does have a die set that cuts out the animals, but you could do, for you could do, let's see here. You could do Happy and then Easter in here. You could do Happy Spring, Happy Birthday. You could do Sweet Friend in here. So lots of different ways to use this tiny set too in here. And I feel like sometimes with these small greetings, we look at them and we just don't want to use them because we feel like they're going to pale in comparison to the card. But when you've got a big accent piece like this, it really does focus in. Here is the Spring Friends set. This is the other one that has the little postage elements. And look how nicely Hello Friend fits right in there. So those are some stamp sets that you can use for greetings to go inside these small little areas. Okay, so now why don't we pick a layout to use? Why don't we do that masculine card, and we'll start with this layout right here, okay? So I can remember what that looks like. I'm going to move this out of the way. And then I've got a bunch of little elements here already cut out. So I have one of my mini Slimline panels, my black accent panel, and then I have this in white, which might be pretty to put it up against that. Sometimes it's nice to have white, but we can also cut another one. I do have the die set right here. So I did cut a lot of white ones, but then when I was making my book, I realized I might want some of those in color, so I'll keep that die out. And then, of course, we need our little black and white circles. And then I want to talk about the size of a mini Slimline card, okay? Because that can be confusing for people. So why don't we do that right away? I'm going to bring my paper cutter here. And then if I'm going to make that guiding light one, I think I'm going to use some blue denim cardstock. That'll be a really nice color, and we can stamp with some blue denim ink. We can make this a very simple card that doesn't even require any coloring, but it would be a very nice card. And we can also use it as a Father's Day card, because I think just saying to your dad or even to your husband or, you know, an uncle, other important men in your life that you're celebrating Father's Day with, that they are a guiding light. Okay, so the mini Slimline card base should measure 3 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches. And the way that we do that is we're going to start by cutting it at the 6 1/2 inch mark. All right, so let's see here. This paper cutter is a little weird, so we know that this is the 6 inch mark, and then if we go a 1/2 inch down from the 7 inch mark, that's the 6 1/2. So we're going to cut that at 6 1/2. I moved it. 6 1/2. And then we're going to turn it and we're going to cut it at 6 1/4. Now I know that some companies have different sizes for their mini Slimline cards. I feel like this is the best because it's going to fit a checkbook envelope, a check envelope perfectly. And if you want to step up your envelopes a little bit, we do have mini Slimline envelopes. And, you know, sometimes those check ones, they have like the security panel on the inside, and they're a little thinner. So if you want a little bit of a nicer envelope for this, this is a very beautiful envelope and nice to stamp on, and nice, it's very smooth. So you could always pick these up if you like this size. But I did want to show you that we have them in case, you know, you don't have one. Now let me check which side is the 6 1/2. So this is the 6 1/2 inch side right here. What we're going to do is we're going to score that at 3 1/4 inches. And let me get it into the end here. And then I'm going to smooth that down. There we go. Now, there really isn't a way to do a top fold mini Slimline unless you're using bigger cardstock, like a 12 by 12 cardstock. So all of your mini Slimline cards will open side fold, but that's totally fine. I think it looks great. And you can see that this is going to fit perfectly inside that mini Slimline envelope. Perfect size right there. Did I not cut that short enough? Let me make sure that I cut that at 6 1/4. Maybe I didn't. See, it's hard for me to tell. Oh, I didn't. See, I used that, which is the 6 1/2 mark, and I have to cut it at 6 1/4. There we go. So it's 6.5 by 6 1/4. I just cut it wrong. I was saying 6 1/4, but I cut it at the 6.5 inch mark because I don't have a big paper cutter that shows me that. But here we go. So now you can see. Perfect size to fit in that mini Slimline envelope. Okay, so we're going to use this envelope for my first card. And then what I think I'll do is I'll get some white cardstock here and I'll find my Misty. I know it's somewhere around here. Here it is. Okay, I already have a mess. I haven't even started yet and I already have a mess. So I'm going to use my Misty here, and I think I'm going to just zoom in a little bit and then move this zoom thing out of the way. There we go. A little bit, because we're not in the book anymore. And I'm going to use this Guiding Light set. This was an incentive set, so a lot of you may already have it. Now, another thing that I want to look at, because I do love the lighthouse, but I do want to see what this would look like, because I love the seagull too. I really do. So let's take a look. This is the beauty of having your book. You can kind of look at it and say, well, what would the seagull look like? That would be a really beautiful image too on top of that panel. So do we want to do the seagull? And then we could do, may you find peace in your heart and healing in your soul. Or do we want to do the lighthouse? I think we probably will do the lighthouse, so that maybe we can add this image as well on the circle. But really, I mean, either one of those would make a beautiful card. Okay, a lot of you are saying the lighthouse. Good, we're all on the same page then. Okay, so let's go back to the lighthouse. And we'll put the lighthouse stamp here. And then I'm also going to take this little image, because I definitely want to stamp that. Okay. And then I also want to stamp, no, I'm going to stamp the greeting right onto the panel. Okay. So now my next thing to decide is, do I want to stamp in blue denim ink, or do I want to stamp in the navy? Because I feel like these are beautiful together, but in the navy is the black of the blue colors, you know? And when I say that, I mean like when you want that dark, deep color, but you still want it to lend itself to that color family, where like charcoal brown is the black of the brown family, and fresh asparagus would be the black of our green family. In the navy is the black of our blue family. So I think I'm going to use in the navy for this. I think it's just going to be a little bit more dramatic than blue denim. But I like the idea of the blue denim card base, because it's a little bit lighter, just a little bit lighter, and I think you can see it a little bit better. Okay. Ugh, aren't those images beautiful? What I love about them is they're very sketchy. Just love that sketchy look. And I'm just stamping twice rather than pressing too hard. There we go. Oh, they look so beautiful. And what's neat about these images is you don't even have to color. They already look good enough without any additional coloring. So this is a very quick and easy card to make.
Quick question.
Yes.
Two, actually. Please explain how the sticky mat is on the Misty.
So this is called our double background grip mat. And it is a photopolymer stamp, huge, the same size as most grip mats. But I have it upside down so that the design is touching this mat and it'll stick to this bottom of the Misty. I don't have a mat in here. I took my mat out. So it's going to stick to the Misty, so it's not going to move, and then cardstock sticks to this grip mat. We have another one coming out in May because we love the concept of getting more for your money when it comes to grip mats. All grip mats are just made out of a slab of photopolymer. So when I was designing ours, I thought, why not give people a cool stamp that they can use too? And then when I saw how big it was going to be, I thought, well, why not give them 2 cool stamps that they can use? So that's why ours has these stamp designs on the back. They will stain with different colors. I've used it to ink and I've used it to stencil. But as long as you clean it with soap and water, you can use a little bit of stamp cleaner on it. Don't use alcohol or anything like that because you don't want to damage it because it is a stamp. So that's how that works. Hopefully I explained that.
Okay, and one more. Sylvia wants to know, is the mini Slimline envelope instruction on the back of the scoreboard tool?
Mini Slimline, is it on the back? There is a 4 5/8 by 6 1/4. No, that's too big. No, I don't think we can do a mini Slimline with this particular scoreboard. That's a very odd size. So that's not one that you can do. But the good thing about it is if you really don't want to buy like a higher quality envelope, you can go to Walmart or Walgreens or whatever and just buy a pack of check envelopes and they work. So it isn't an expensive envelope to purchase. Alrighty. So I'm going to cut this out. I do have one little piece here. Okay. Let's cut this. I know I could cut them out both at the same time, but I want to make sure I get a good clean cut. Kathy, I have no information yet on the Chucky tool. I'm so sorry. We've contacted the guy who's making them for us, and he's just a single guy who is making them one at a time, so it's taking him a little longer. So there we go. We have our image there, and we're hoping soon. We really are. We're hoping very soon. Okay, now let's see. I have to figure out which way that goes, and I believe that is the way that that goes on there. I'm going to cut this out. I'm trying to decide if I should cut it out and pop it up on the circle. I think that might be cool. You know me, I love dimension. As much as I can cut things out, I want to cut them out. All right, I got to find another Masking Magic strip. There we go. So I love die cutting for dimension. But I could have cut this out just with the circle from Master Layouts 7. Okay, there we go. We'll see. I can always do it again if it doesn't work out. It's only paper, right? Kathy, as soon as I know, I'll definitely announce it. And I'm going to poke him again today. He was supposed to bring some. I think I cut this out wrong. I think I just didn't line it up properly. So I think I'm going to stamp it one more time real quick, and then I'm going to cut it out with the circle. And not because I can't cut it out with this, because I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking it's going to be better to cut it out with the circle. So let's just move this, and I'll do it real quick right down here. Hopefully you can see it. I'll put it right there, and we'll grab the stamp again. How do I lose stamps so quickly on my desktop? I lose everything. Oh, here it is. It's way up here. That's why. It's not where I wanted it. Not where I thought I left it. The other thing with this stamp is it might be easier to actually do my die cutting, perfect alignment trick where you cut out the circle and line it up first and then drop the empty circle into the hole. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a video. It's like a 5-minute card video, and it's called How to Perfectly Align Your Die Cut Images. And there's 2 different ways to do it. I've shown it many times on my channel, but we could do it. Let's do it this way, just to be safe. Okay. So what I'm going to do to make this a little easier is I will cut cut out a little template here out of this red cardstock because I want it to be perfect. So I'm going to cut myself a little template. Yeah, Mary, isn't it a good trick? It's so easy to do it this way. Okay. Now, we've got our little template here, and I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. Now, we're going to place this here, and we're going to look at making sure that that is perfectly centered. And that looks pretty centered to me. And now once I have that in place, I can just drop the die back into that hole. And I can tack that down. You'll kind of feel it snap into place. And I'm using masking magic to hold everything down. And now I'm going to cut it. And now I know that I'm cutting it so that it's going to look centered. I know it is one of those one of those things that really comes in handy when you want to perfectly center something. Sometimes it doesn't even matter. You're popping something up white on white and you're not even going to see it. But you can see that that did help us quite a bit. Make it centered. This was kind of a hot mess, so we'll get rid of that. Okay. Give it a toss. So now we'll put this card together. And I feel like we could use a little shading in the background of this. Or you can always do an embossing folder if you've got a nice embossing folder like the gingham or the lattice would be really nice. But let me grab my pieces here. All my little pieces. Now I'm thinking about, see what I mean? That looks really nice, but I think if we had stamped it in blue denim, it would almost be a little bit too light. And you know what? Let's cut this panel out using some blue denim. I can use my mini intricate for this because it's small. And I always like to put my double grip mat down because then the intricate won't bounce around the mini. And we'll cut one of these because I've got this skinny piece of leftover cardstock. So let me cut one of these in blue denim, and I think that's just going to make it pop a little bit more.
Next Tuesday is the celebration, right?
Yes, next Tuesday we are celebrating 200,000 subscribers. We've got a lot of fun things planned. Tom's going to make a card. Right, Tom?
I'm going to make a card.
You are going to make a card. That's very
I
exciting.
have no idea what I'm going to make, but
It'll be great.
it'll be a card.
We can't wait.
It'll be a recognizable as a card.
I've seen some of the things that you've made kind of when you're just playing and trying out stuff, and they're very good. You have good ideas.
Wow.
You do. They're very good. So I'm picking a different one because that has a little mark on it of some kind. So here we go. Now I'm going to layer these two panels together. It's a long one, so you got to kind of take your time as you go down the sides to make sure that it's all lined up.
Jolie wants to know, what is the sandwich you used to cut out the dies? Is the magnetic mat on the bottom?
No, I'm just using the regular plates that came with the big intricate. And so it's just the base plate and the cutting mat. And you just always want to make sure that the blade of your die is touching the cutting mat. I think that's what you're asking. If you're asking about the little intricate, we don't have a magnetic mat for that one. All right, so now what I'd like to do is add a little bit of something back here. Now we could do a lot of different things. We could wood grain this panel like a whitewash, which would be very pretty for this whole sea theme. Why don't we do that? I'm gonna get the soft stone ink and just a piece of scrap paper here. And I'm gonna just do like a little just a little wash of color down here. So this is my Softstone ink pad. I'm going to just be dragging this edge right down this piece of cardstock. And it's okay that it's already layered together because you're not going to see that light gray on the black panel. But if I was using a lighter color for my shadow layer back there, then I would have done this before I mounted them together. But isn't that cool? Oh, I like this. I like the way this looks. Looks very beachy, right? And see how I'm kind of like, I tilt my hand this way a little bit, like that, to get some lines going through. That just makes it feel a little bit more like wood. And then if you want it darker at the top, you can kind of just add a little bit more ink up there at the top. Okay, I think that looks good. It gives it a little bit of a wood feel to it, little interest on the background. Now we are going to get one of our squares, or rectangles, that's not a square. It's basic math. I wasn't good in basic math. I didn't realize I'd need so much math in crafting. And now I'm going to layer these two panels together. Okay. There we go. And now I'm going to lay this one down on here, kind of as like a little background, just to accent this right here. And I'm going to lay this out first to see how I like it. So I'll pop this up on here to give it some dimension. And then this, I'm going to add as just a little decorative element right here. I'm going to pop that up. And then down here, I'm going to stamp my greeting, which is going to say, "You are a guiding light." Does that make sense? Let's do it. Now, I will look at this. I don't know that I would like this, but we could look at this. And we could do it in the same color. We could do it in the blue denim, too. Do you guys like a second one down there, or do you think that's too much? You know, we could tuck this one up under it a little bit, too. It might be pretty, especially if it's in blue denim, where this is kind of just tucked under there a little bit. And then let me get this up here. So you see what I mean? Like this would be like this. And then this would also be in blue denim. And then we would pop this up over it here like that. And it would just accent this a little bit. Okay, I'm seeing no, too much. Okay, all right. I agree, just had to look. But that's the fun of having all the pieces cut out, is you can look so that you can say, ew, no, too much, and feel good about your decision and not wonder what it would have looked like. Okay, so now I'm adding my blue denim on here.
You got to be able to see enough of that background.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
You like that background?
I like that background.
It does feel beachy, doesn't it?
I feel like I'm at a seafood restaurant.
I know, right? And then we're going to put this right onto this panel. We could have done all of this in blue denim. I want to make sure there's enough room here. Oh, there is. Yep. Okay. So I'm putting that like that. I like how this kind of feels like it's holding it a bit. And now let's pop this up using some foam squares. We use a few of the small ones here. We all love a good masculine card every once in a while, don't we? We need them. We need to kind of figure out what we're going to do for Father's Day and masculine birthdays. And I do take flack when I say that, because there are people out there that will tell me that, you know, they have guys in their lives that are avid gardeners and love flowers. And I get it. But I think you guys know what I'm saying. There isn't really a gender to stamps. However, some
Good
people...
masculine card with masculines.
Masculines. All right. Is that a word of the day?
I guess so.
Okay, and see, I love the, like, popping it up a little bit. Just creates some interest and dimension. Now, I'm going to put this here. Layer these two together. And this is going to go, it's going to tuck right under there. I'm going to bump it up, but I want to get my greeting on here first. So we'll go back to the Misty for that, because we can't mess this up now, right? We just can't. That'll set us back too much. Okay, so I do like to just lay the thing where I'm going to put it, and I might even just like pop it up so it just gently kind of arcs over that bottom there. But I want to see where it's going to go so I get my greeting in the right place. So we'll do You Are a Guiding Light down here. And you guys know the trick if you want to make sure that something is stamped straight, correct? What we can do is we can just take the little index sheet off of the stamp set and we can pop it in there. And now we can stamp it on the index sheet just to make sure that we like it. Again, I'm going to go with the navy. We can just ink that up and we can stamp it onto the index sheet. And if that looks straight, and it does, then we can take that index sheet off if we can get it off. It's on the grit mat. We can get it off. Then we can just clean that so we don't make ourselves inky. And if you still see it on there, you can just use a little alcohol for that. Now we know this is in the right place. So that's the little trick that I've shown before, but I always think we might have new people, and that's a good trick, right? So there's one. And there is two. So nice and deep, but still in the blue family, because we used the in the navy instead of black. So we've got a mix of black and in the navy on here, but that's okay. I like the contrast between them. I think they look nice together. And I'm going to put this stamp and die set away so I don't lose anything, because you know how we are, right? It's easy to lose stuff. Okay, so we're done with this for a minute. Now let's go ahead and assemble the rest of this card. So we're going to use a big foam square for this. Yeah, I think I did that in a good spot. I feel like we could use even a second foam square on here, and we can pop it up even further out, and I'm going to do that. So I've taken the tab off of that one. I'm going to put a second one on top, and this way this is going to be even further out, and I don't have to worry about these layers in here making it too high. So there we go. Does that look pretty good? I think that looks pretty good. And now this whole panel is going to go right onto my blue denim card base. Right, I agree, because I forget everything. I'm at the age where I forget everything. And if I don't write it down, I don't remember it. And when somebody reminds me of an old technique or an old idea, I'm like, oh, yes, I forgot. I have to use that more. So I'm going to keep reminding us, and it helps remind me too. I want to go a little higher with that. There we go. Oh, I like this card. What do you guys think? You Are a Guiding Light. And if you want, you can always, just to make it easy so that you can write in it, you can always just pop another plain one in there, one of the stitched ones that we cut out. So this way it makes it easy to write inside. I like that. You know what else would look really nice on here? And I'm going to do it, is to put 2 silver metallic pearls here. I think it'll feel very, I need my bigger ones though. I think it'll feel very like, I don't know, like a screw on the side there, even though we don't have screws. Like, tell me what you think if I put like one of these on each side. I gotta find one more that size. I know they're in here. I have to grab another little dish. I subbed out my 3mm ones for the... See, don't you think that will be nice? Yeah, let's do that. Just that little bit. I'm going to add these to my 3mm ones because sometimes I need the bigger ones. Everything is a mess. I have like sequins in here and all, but you know what? We'll pick through them. We'll be fine. Okay, so I need my Connect glue for this and my pick and stick tool. And then let's move that out of the way. All right, so we'll try to line this up the best that we can. We can shift them around a little bit if we need to, but I think that's going to be pretty good. We don't need a ton of glue. One. And then we'll just make sure that they look even. I think they look pretty even. Do they look even? Yeah, they look even enough. Better than horrible. I think that adds just a nice little touch there. You can never go wrong with an embellishment. You could also put one in the center down here if you like that rule of 3, just to see, you know, a little bit of sparkle down there as well.
That is an awesome card.
You like that, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
We'll just add this in here so we have a little bling down here. This is the 3mm size. This is the 4mm or 5mm. We have 2 different ways that you can get our metallic pearls. You can get them in all 3mm, and then you can get them in like an assortment of 3 different sizes. I like both. Okay, so there's our first card. I'm not going to do any more to this card. I'm just going to put it aside so we can look at it again later. All right, let's get to our second card now. So we'll go back to the Master Layouts Bible here that we're creating, our own little... You know, I got to tell you guys a cute story. So when my kids were little, and I said my kids, I mean our kids, they're Tom's kids too. When our kids were little at night, we would, every time we would eat dinner, we would say grace. We would say a prayer first. And Alicia had her little Bible that she would read from, a little prayer. And Rena couldn't read yet, but she knew what the word Bible looked like. And we had something in our house called the Vitamin Bible. So she would bring the Vitamin Bible to the table. And we would always do our little prayer with Alicia. And then she'd say, wait, it's my turn. I have to read your pills that you need to take. And she would read us out of the Vitamin Bible and make up her own words. It's so funny. So we're calling this our Master Layouts Bible today. Let's move over to this layout so I can show you how to create this look, okay? All right, so we're going to get a panel here, and we're going to get a black panel. I never worry about cutting too many black and white panels because you know me, I use these all the time. And then we're going to need a couple of these little ones. You know what Rena and I did yesterday, guys? We went wedding dress shopping. Oh my goodness, it's becoming real now. And she actually found a dress. So exciting. It's beautiful. I can't show you because Brian might see it and he can't see it. So, but it is very beautiful. All right, so we have these panels here. Now, let's think about what we want to make with this. Let me see if I can find any of my bits and pieces. I don't think I have any pre-cut ones. I'm just looking. All right, we will make something. So I have some beautiful stamp sets here, and what we could do is we could use the delicate flowers for this. And I think what I'll do is I will stamp a couple of these and a couple of these. All right. These take very quick amount of time to stamp and color, so we'll do that. And I do have a card base that I cut incorrectly earlier, so we'll use that to stamp our images on. All right. So I'm going to stamp this. This stamp set is called Delicate Flowers, but you can use any flower stamp set you have. Okay, and I think I'll put this here, and we'll see what happens. It would really be easier if I just had a piece that didn't have a crease in it. So let me see if I have one here. I do. I'll use this. I just think it's going to be easier for me to stamp because I can stamp it and then flip it, and that'll be easier. Okay, so I'm going to use some black ink for this. Should I use black or should I show you my technique? I think I'll show you my technique. I'm going to use craft ink to stamp this. So we'll stamp it first with craft. And we do want to make sure that this piece of cardstock is butted up against this top corner, okay? So we're going to stamp this with craft ink. I'm going to stamp it again so that you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay. And then we're going to flip it and butt that side up against the top, and we're going to do the same thing again. I love this stamp set too. It is truly one of my favorites, and it's a great one because the images are big, which I think is going to lend itself really nicely to this mini Slimline card. Now I know that this is a little hard for you guys to see, but it's all going to make sense. At some point today, it'll all make sense, I promise. But this is just so that... Now I'm going to pull this whole thing out, but leave the stamps here on your MISTI. Okay? All right. So we are going to stencil these with the coordinating coloring stencils that are part of this set. These are the Delicate Flowers. Now you do purchase the stencils separately if you're interested in this. You purchase them separately because not everybody likes coloring stencils. Some people do, but not everybody does. And you do want to make sure, just see what I just did, it didn't fit. You want to make sure that the writing, that you can read the writing. Then you will know that you are on the right side. So I'm going to lay these in here. And I'm going to color these with some, let me find my colors here. Should I do purples? Should I do some purples? I'll do some purples. I'll do the medium, the light lilac and the medium lilac. Got to get my ink stand. So I'm going to start with light lilac. And I need a light lilac brush. This is a darker lilac brush. Do I have one? Yeah, I do. Okay. So I am going to just clean this brush just to make sure that I don't have any ink residue that's too dark on there. And I do that with just a little bit of rubbing alcohol. The lilacs are your favorite too. I love the lilacs. They're just the right purple, aren't they? They've got so much like dustiness in them, that bluish tint to them. So I just wanted to clean that with a little bit of rubbing alcohol because first of all, it dries super quick. Second of all, it's not going to damage the glue in the casing of the brush. And we can get started right away. I know my color's going to be right. So I'm going to do this light lilac in here. A little heavy toward the bottom and a little lighter as I go up. It's a great color. All right. There we go. Okay. Now I want to add just a little bit of medium lilac just down at the bottom of each of those flowers, just to deepen it up a little bit. Just like that. This is a great way to get some shading in there, even when there's only a single layer on your stencil. It gives you that shaded look. Okay, looking good. Now I'm going to just flip this, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab my alcohol wipe, and I'm going to wipe that color off just so that dark lilac doesn't get in there on my first pass. So we'll do this.
So Linda wants to know, what cardstock colors coordinate best with these lilac inks?
Wild Wisteria is the best for that because it's definitely a bluer purple. So Wild Wisteria is perfect. So again, I went back to the light lilac. And that's the color card base I'll use today for this. I think. But yeah, that's my favorite mix with the lilacs, is the Wild Wisteria. Wild Wisteria looks different than these colors, but for some reason they all work really nicely together. And now I'm going to add my medium lilac in there, just around the bottom.
And a question from Lisa. Gina, will there be any more trio inks, or will it just be more standalone colors like the last 4 in the future?
So our next 4 that are coming out early summer are standalone colors. I've been looking at, trios to do, and the problem is that we've already done all of the trios, or most of the trios in our color line. They're just not called light, medium, and dark. They actually have individual names, and I have a chart on the blog that you can download to show you the light, medium, and dark of all of the colors of our rainbow. So I would check that out and see, you'll be able to see how our yellows go together and how our greens go together, and how, I would definitely take a look at that. All right, so now we're going to do the next batch of these in, boy, maybe I'll do some blues here. Oh no, these are all going to be greens. This is all greenery here. So we're going to use Jelly Bean and fresh asparagus. And if you want to know the trio for the greens in this color family, it is Jelly Bean Green, Grass Green, and fresh asparagus. And that's on that chart. So check out that chart and download it so you always know which colors work really nicely together. It's a good chart. And if I didn't know any better, and I haven't looked up, but I bet Brienne has either shared it or is going to share it.
And a question Angelica wants to know, how do I know when to use that small brush that looks like a pen from the other one? Wouldn't it have been easy to do all with the last one?
It would be. I actually feel like I get a little bit more dusty shading with this style brush, and then I get more concentrated shading with this kind of brush, and I think it's because these bristles are curved, and it feels like it just disperses the ink more lightly, where this is flat on the top, and it feels like it really sinks into the stencil and just gives you more concentrated color. Now, that being said, you don't have to run out and get every kind of brush. Use what you have and see how you do. And then if down the line you feel like you want to experiment with a different style brush, maybe pick up one little pack of 4 and give it a try, or one little pack of 2. We have 2 packs in this size. And just see how it works for you and see if you get a different result. everybody's different. Everybody has their own, you know, thing that works well for them. So now I'm going to go with the fresh asparagus, and I'm going to use just a little bit of that just at the bottom of these leaves to create that darker shading. See, I feel like I can get just into a tinier section with this. But again, that's just me, and it might not even matter to everybody, right? Everybody's different. Now, while I have this in this position, I'm going to use this stencil to fill in some of these leaves. So let's get that lined up. And we're going to do that same combination, the jelly bean green and then the fresh asparagus. It might make a little bit more sense on that last question. It might make a little bit more sense to see it when the images are bigger like this. This image is a little bit bigger, so it might make a little more sense to see what I'm saying here. How I can get more of a soft, dusty image with this type of brush versus a more concentrated image when I add the second color.
Next release is April 8th.
April 8th, yeah. All right, so I have that color on there. Now I'm going to switch to this. Oh, you know what? Let me put that back because I want to add that darker color after I just talked about it. See? Can't remember anything anymore. Like from 1 minute to the next. Okay, so back to fresh asparagus now, and we're going to add that just on the bottoms here. Now I'm getting some, you know, if there's something in the way, it's going to get filled in, and that's okay. Plus, our ink has a smoothing agent in it, and once it's all dry, this is just going to look so smooth. Can see that. It's pretty, huh? All right, let's fill in these green areas. I have this one out. I should give it a quick wipe. I have my tidy towel is just barely damp, so I can use that. You definitely want to have your tidy towel wet enough, though, which I need to wet mine. It is not wet enough. I really should grab my second ink stand. I have many ink stands. It's my favorite tool for ink blending. I love it so
the party
much.
next Tuesday is not going to include any new products, is it?
No, it's not a release party. It is we're just celebrating 200,000 subscribers. So we're doing lots of giveaways. Tom's going to make a card. I'm going to make a card. We're going to have a couple words of the day, and we're giving away some really big prizes, guys, in celebration. So, but the release party will be the following Tuesday, where we will have new products coming out. Alrighty. My fresh asparagus that I just moved my stencil, but that's all right. Yeah, it's very exciting. We're very grateful. We know it's all you guys that made that happen for us. So thank you so much for being here, and week after week, year after year. Oh my goodness. It took a long time to get that many subscribers, many, many years. But we appreciate every single one of you. Okay, now we're going to finish this one up here, and then we'll add that second little color in there, which I'm thinking we'll add another green, like a different green in there.
Jillian wants to know, what time is the party in UK time next Tuesday? The answer is, we have no idea.
So I don't know if this helps, but if you go on to YouTube and look at the video, it's already posted. It should be showing up in your time zone. Wherever you are in the world, it should be showing up in your time zone. YouTube is really good about that, you know. So that could be helpful. And a lot of times people will say, you know, oh, what time's the release party? I live in Utah, or I live in California, or I live in, you know, Spain. YouTube will show you right on the screen the day and the time in your time zone. So hopefully that helps. But there, I know somebody else was sharing that there's a time converter on Google that you can, time zone converter that you can use as well. And you know, it's crazy too, because it's really good if for any reason you're not 100% sure, because in the United States, we've got crazy time zone stuff. Like some of our states don't spring ahead. So half the year we're 1 hour or 2 hours apart, or 1 hour apart, and then the other half of the year we're 2 hours apart. It's crazy. So it's always good to just double check. All right, so now I'm going to finish up here with these, making sure my thing is facing the right way. I'm going to finish up with these, and I think I'm going to add, I'm going to do some Applemint. Applemint is such a pretty color, and I don't love it as much as I should. Not that I don't love it, I don't give it enough love. So I am going to give Applemint some love. And I might use that same little skinny brush, but I'm going to clean it first with my alcohol so that, because I don't have any extra. Oh, I do. I have an extra brush. You know what? Rather than waste your time, I'm just going to use this extra brush. I knew I had one laying around here somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So let's do some Applemint in here. Did I see Kathy Zilski? Hey, Kathy. Good to see you. Kathy makes fantastic videos. I don't know if Mindy's here. She makes great videos. We have a lot of... Don't let me miss anybody, Tom. Oh, isn't that a pretty color? That's just so pretty.
Tiffany wants to know, what year were you in Madison at the store? We had a store, I think, in 2007, didn't we?
I think so, yeah. We had a store in Madison in 2007.
In McFarland.
In McFarland, yeah. I love that little store, but I think it was in such a bad location. It was right behind a funeral home. I think that gave it some bad energy. Because it was like... You know, we always had to say, right behind the funeral home.
We did turn out a lot of sympathy cards.
Yes, we did.
That would explain that trend.
All right, that gives us a little bit of glow in there. Now, what I'm going to do is, we're going back to the Misty. Okay? I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to go back to the Misty. And we're going to pop this right into that corner again. And now I'm going to stamp it with black. So now those parts are going to be a lot more vibrant, obviously. But the reason I did it this way is because I didn't want to smear the black. And sometimes the black ink can smear a little bit, especially with those lighter colors like the Applemint. So this just allows me to get my color nice and vibrant and then go back over it with the black, and it feels more delicate this way. So what I'm using here is the Delicate Flowers stamp set, Stamp and Die bundle, and I'm using the Delicate Flowers stencil. This is an older set. I'm pulling out the old stuff today. Many older things. But isn't that lovely? They're so pretty. So let's take a look up close so you can see what they look like. Okay. All right, so I'm going to clean these, and then we're going to assemble our next card. And I'm going to show you my little trick for elongating those two dies. And I'm not going to use one of the greetings from this because I want to use that little circle. So I'm going to use a greeting from one of our other sets that I had talked about earlier. But you know, this is just a great opportunity to mix and match things together and really make use of stamps and dies that you already have in your collection. So again, this one is an old one. I'm going to pull these two dies out because we're going to die cut all those flowers. And we'll get this out of the way. I don't even know where to put it. Okay. So here are our panels. So let's start by assembling these two panels together. Let me find my tape runner. What color did I use to stamp the images? The first color I used was craft ink. Then I stenciled everything. And I know the craft looked a little hard for you guys to see on the screen, but it's very easy to see in real life. And then I went back over it with the black Onyx ink. And just because, you know, sometimes those inks can just reactivate the black a little bit. Especially lighter colors, like if you're doing yellows and light pinks. That Applemint could be one that might kind of activate it a little bit. All right, now I'm putting this together. I'm a little shreddy there.
The last retail store we had was in Greendale, and we closed that when we moved into our current location.
Right.
We had some fun at
We
our
did. Greendale was a fun store.
at our store.
But COVID kind of knocked us out. And then we realized, you know, we needed more warehouse space. So we moved. All right, so now we've got these two panels here. Am I close enough for everybody? Do you guys want me closer? Just a little bit closer? I can come in a little bit closer. The name of the ink color file, I would just go right to the blog because it's on the blog under templates and charts, and you'll be able to find it very easily there. Just keep scrolling down and you'll find it. All right, so I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut a little bit off of here, just a little bit. I'll show you what a little bit is. It's like that much off. And then I'm going to place this here to make 3 even side borders. I'm not like going up too high or down too low. I'm making those borders relatively even. And now this is going to overlap. I don't want it to overlap, but I'm looking at it and I'm seeing I could take about that much off, which is probably like a little more than 1/4 of an inch. But remember, it doesn't really matter if you make it like too big because you're going to put that strip across the center that's going to cover it anyway. So if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. That was very perfect and complete dumb luck. But remember, again, you know, we're going to take a panel like this, big, and put it across the center. So you're not going to see the seam at all. So even if you've got a relatively big gap in between, don't worry about it. It's not going to affect anything. Okay, so I'm going to put this. Again, just making those 3 sides even. And when I say even, I mean, you know, the distance between here, here, and here is all about the same. And then I'm going to do the same on the bottom. Okay. And I got a little lucky with this, that it's pretty close. I just want to make sure that my black lines line up here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, now we're going to die cut these. We've got to die cut these out because we're going to lay our flowers on here and leaves before we actually put that center strip on.
So that was dumb luck?
That was the dumbest luck.
Wow,
If it wasn't for dumb luck,
pretty amazing.
I'd have no luck at all. Okay. So again, I might try to cut these at the same time. We'll see how brave I feel. If I feel like everything's lined up well, I will. And some of this is going to get hidden, a little bit of it. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think this will work. And I'm just using my little Masking Magic strips to just secure that down. And cut. No, Janet, we're not going to be having a sale. We're just going to be doing lots of giveaways. It's not really even a sales event. We're not trying to make anybody buy anything or anything. We just want to celebrate you and give you guys stuff. Giveaways, do lots of giveaways. All right. And we never do a sale right before a release just because that would be so taxing on our team because our releases are so busy and our sales get so busy. We don't do very many sales. Black Friday, always do. All right. There we go. Last two. Oh, I have to get a new magnetic platform. Mine is a little warped now, and it's time for a new one, and I just haven't gone back in the warehouse to get one yet. So I'm using the original, which is good too. I mean, it's important that people see me using the original one because not everybody wanted to buy an additional platform. But they work the same way. One is just magnetic. All right, I'm going to put this away for now. Yes, the mats are definitely consumables. So you use them, and at some point, they do have to be replaced. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay this out, and I can go off the paper a little bit like that, because remember, we still have a card base that we're going to be putting this on. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here with the opposite look. Like that. Okay. Now, let me put that aside because we have to figure out what color we want to make our card base. Now, I did say Wild Wisteria, and I'm kind of sticking with my guns on that. I think that's going to be a really beautiful color for this card base. But I do have to say, I want you to look at one more thing, because Applemint would also be a really pretty color, and it might make that little bit of Applemint pop out. Nah, let's go with Wild Wisteria. I'm not even asking on that one. I think the purple is just too striking. So we're going to cut our card base again, and I'll remember to do it right this time. We're going to cut it at 6.5 inches by 6.25 inches. I think that's right here. Should be. Yes. Okay. We'll see. I can always go back and fix it if it's not right. And then I need my scoring board again. Now where, pray tell, did I put that? Here it is. It's under all the ink pads. And then we're going to do one more card after this, and it's going to be something that's not, that I didn't show you. We're going to use a cover plate. So this is the side. And we're going to make it a money holder. How's that? I'm going to show you how to make a money holder out of this. Okay, so we're going to score this at 3.25 inches. Let's just get that in here. What is that sound, Tom?
I don't know. Somebody's got a blender going outside.
A blender? Somebody's making a smoothie or
something.
something? Yeah. Okay, that's going to be just a beautiful card base for this, isn't it? That's going to be so pretty. Yes, it's so glowy, right? So now we're going to do the same color for the strip going across the center. Okay. And again, I can use my baby here.
And all you have to do is leave a comment to participate in the
giveaways?
The giveaways, right?
Yes, just leave a comment. You'll be able to leave a comment during our 200,000K party. And today we're going to be giving away a gift card too. So definitely leave a comment today for a chance to win. All right. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out. Hey, Tom, can you move the mouse over the screen? Great, thank you. Okay. Now, look how pretty that is. That color, that is so glowy. If you don't have wild wisteria, that is definitely a color to keep on your radar. Okay, so now I'm going to take this off and I'm going to mount this on here first. So let's go ahead and find the tape. Last night I broke my tape runner. This one just got empty. I broke my tape runner and I didn't have an extra tape runner, so you should have seen me making these this master layouts section of my book. I was like holding the tape runner. I don't know. I dropped it first of all, and I cracked a piece off, so it couldn't work properly. It was a mess. I was a little bit of a mess last night. But I got it done. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to lay these on here, and I do feel like it would be very beautiful to pop them up. However, I'm not going to do that, because we're going to pop up that centerpiece instead. And I'm going to take these way out because I don't want the flowers to be completely covered up. I want to see them, if that makes sense. So let's get these on here. And I could just use some tape for this. We'll get this way out up to the edge. I'll do the same thing on this side, just so everything is happening uniformly. I think that looks good. Okay. And now I'm doing the same thing up here. I'm going right up to the edge. You don't want to extend outside of the card because you want it to be able to fit into that check style mini slimline envelope. There we go. This is a very, very pretty flower. My favorite. Yeah, if you hear the smoothie machine, we don't know what that is. I think it might actually be like landscapers out there starting their cleanup, but you never know. Okay, that's pretty close. Now this we're gonna pop up right on top there, and then we're gonna add our greeting in there. I think that's gonna look really pretty. Let me find a circle. So this will go in here, and then we'll have our other little circle that'll go right in there with our, like some sort of delicate greeting. Now, it's good to test that because I can pull this off and I can shift it a little bit, like more like this, and see if I like that better, because I didn't like the way that was covering up that flower. So I'm going to see if that will help. And the nice thing about this is with the Gina K Designs tape runner, it is a little forgiving until you finally like make the commitment. Let's just see if this shows a little bit more of those purple flowers. See, I feel like it does, and I like that better. So now that I know that I want it there, now I'm going to press down really hard, and then we'll be good there. Okay, so let's use some foam squares for this, and we'll pop it up. Yeah, the black accent just makes everything pop, right? Okay, and then we'll put that right there. Yeah, it's crazy.
So what do you think? Should we sneak in a few words of the day during the blending?
Yes, while I'm working on my greeting. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, words of the day. Got a 3 for today.
A 3 for, that's crazy.
So it's spring here in Wisconsin. And
that's what they say.
One of our rituals for spring is to go to the garden centers.
Yes, love the garden
and
center.
Browse even before they start bringing things out. And so it's happened a few times where you get some plants and it might be too early, or you just might not have done the right thing, and the plant doesn't make it, or it just struggles. It could be the case where you just simply got a plant that was shrub standard. In which case you may or may not be entitled to a shrubstitute.
Oh my God.
Shrubstitution. They'll give you a new one. But, you know, since it's so early, you may have bought before it's time. And just got all wrapped up in the moment, and you may have fallen prey to some shrub-liminal advertising.
Oh my gosh, so what are the words now? All of them?
Shrub standard.
Shrub standard.
Shrubstitute. And shrub-liminal, as in shrub-liminal advertising. So, a 3 for unholy trifecta words of the day.
Oh my goodness.
Way back to the dead space.
Oh my goodness. Very funny. So I have a tiny little flaw on my stamp. So I'm wondering if I have something that can fix that. Do I have a skinny little black pen? Let's see if I do. No, but I have a black pen. So I might just go in there and just fill that in a little bit. There we go. I think that'll work for now. There we go. Okay, so I picked So Very Proud of You because I thought this would be like kind of a nice graduation card. And you can put money in it then because it is like, you know, kind of a nice size to put some money in. And I think that will be good. So I'm going to do that. I love gardening. I am an avid indoor gardener right now. I have an indoor hydroponic garden. And I grow lettuce for Tom and I and herbs all winter long. We never buy lettuce or herbs or arugula, do we?
Right.
It's all over the place. I've got it everywhere. All right, so I'm going to... Oh, no! I got ink on my... Well, we'll just use the Mono Sand Eraser here and do our best. I think that's good. Good enough. Better than horrible. Gotta have some mistakes. Or else it's not real. Okay. Now we could put this right on, or we could even pop this up for more dimension. But I do think there's a lot of dimension going on with this being where it is and then having all these additional layers. So I think we'll put it right onto the card. And we got to get it straight and even top and bottom. Sometimes I challenge myself a little bit more than I need to by using the tweezers, trying to be cool. Sometimes my fingers are just fine. Okay. And then we'll add a little bit of disco ball into the mix.
Yes, Pat, there will be other grip mat designs coming.
Yes, there will be. Now, you know, I always like the odd numbers of embellishments, except when I do a design that's very symmetrical like this. Then I actually really like when things are a little bit more symmetrical. And so I'll use 6 instead of 5, you know, or 4 instead of 3. So in this case, we're having a little bit of extra going on here. And I love these disco ball sequins. They are my favorite sequin. And the metallic pearls are another favorite of mine. So we could have gone with some gold metallic pearls. But our disco ball sequins come in 2 sizes. They come in like a regular size that has 3 different sizes in it. And then people asked us to do really tiny ones. So we have what's called our micro disco ball, and they're really tiny. So, all right, so there is card 2. Let's take a look at that one. And again, you can always put your blank panel on the inside that you cut with Master Layout 7. So I like that one too. So we have 2 different, completely different styles using all the components, all the elements. And then I want to show you, I asked Tom for money today. I said, do you have a $20 bill? And he said, yes, I do. So I think he wants it back, but I want to show you that a $20 bill fits so nicely in there. Well, any money, any US money fits perfectly inside here. So what you can do, well, I'll show you that on the next card. Okay, so there's 2 cards that use lots of elements from this die set. Very different styles too. All right, let's do our final card today using one of these cover plates. So I'm going to use this one. And Brianne, this one was the Swirl cover plate. Is that right? Slimline Swirl. She had the name earlier. You know, it's a shame because I design a lot of this stuff, but the name is like the last thing, and then we just name it and I never look at that again, and then I never know what the names of anything are. So I'm going to cut 2 of these. Let me find some white cardstock here. I'm going to use our layering weight white cardstock. And I'm going to cut 2 of these out. So I'll do one at a time. Yeah, these mini Slimline cover plates are really nice. And they make like a fast design. Yeah, the poppy one is beautiful. And it's great for paper piecing. All right. So we'll poke this one out. Love that. Love making the mess. But you could see this would be really fun for paper piecing too. All right. Let me just get all these out of here. Sometimes I drop the plate by accident and they all fly out. But if I do that today, it won't fly out and then the plate will bounce somewhere and I won't be able to find it. So I'm not taking my chances because I know what happens. Let me just clean this up. And I'll keep that because I can use that for something else. Okay. Now we're going to do another one. Will that plate fit in the mini intracut? It should. Yes, it does. It will fit in the mini. It's a nice little bonus, right? Right, Brianne, the bits only come out when you don't want them to. Yeah, like if you wanted to like try to save all of this for paper piecing, then they would just come out so easily. But if you want them to all come out easily, they won't. But a lot of these did, so that's good. I'm only doubling up on this because I want it to be a little thicker than the bottom panel. And, you know, you can thicken this up. I mean, you could layer 3 of them together and it would be really, really nice and thick. Okay, so I'm going to check something here. Just see where I'm at. Okay, I'm good. Just checking my blood sugar, you know. Diabetic life. Diabetes. Go blood sugar. Okay, see what I mean? Like you can drop them and they do come out and then it makes it a little bit easier. Just have a few left to poke out. There we go. See, if I had lost the plate that time, it wouldn't have mattered as much. Now, normally I would cut 3 of them and layer them together because I like 3 thick. I think 3 thick is a really nice weight. But for this card, I'll just do 2 thick. And what we're going to do is we're going to just get a piece of one of these. Now, this is one that I cut out already from Master Layout 7. And these are going to be the same size. See that? They're going to be the same size. The stitching will get covered, which is fine, but they're going to be the same size. And so that makes it easy for you to know what to use here. So I'm going to just put a little tape on the back of this, and I'm going to do a very beautiful rainbow. So I'm going to start with some red hot ink and a red brush. Have a red brush.
The magnetic plate doesn't come with the intracut, right?
Correct. That's an add-on. We did not want to put magnets in our intracut because there are people that cannot be around magnets. People who have pacemakers, you know. So we didn't want to put anybody at risk. So we gave you an excellent plate, the one that I've been using all day. This is the one that has that little spot on it, and I don't want to use that. I want to use a clean one. But for our friends who do want a magnetic mat, we do have the, you would buy the magnetic plate set. It comes with 3 pieces. It comes with the magnetic base and the magnetic cutting mat and then a clear plate for on top. And then if you have to replace your magnetic cutting mat, which is usually the part, the cutting mats on any die cutting machine are usually the parts that have to be replaced because they do warp over time. It's just the nature of the beast, you know. You can buy the 2-piece where you just get the magnetic mat and that clear plate. All right, so I've got red. Now I'm going to go with orange.
So Rebecca wants to know, she has, if you had one Master Layouts 1, 2, 3, 10, and 12, what would your next one be?
So if you just, did she say 2?
1, 2, 3, okay. 10, and 12.
So 2 is a great one to have because some of the other ones were designed to work with 2. So since you already have 2, I would get 14. 14 is the postage one, and there is so many beautiful cards and beautiful inspiration that you can do with that postage set. Definitely like check out Mindy Egan and some of the things that she's done, Kathy Zilski. And I've done so many cards with that postage set. So I would, if I was picking next in line, I'd pick 14. Okay, so now I need to find...
Is there a challenge for next week?
There's going to be a challenge, yeah.
Okay.
There's going to be a challenge.
Any information on that or not yet?
Not yet.
All right, then.
Not yet. All right, so I'm going to use some wild dandelion next. Ooh, I have something on this brush. Too much butterscotch on this brush. So let's clean it. There we go. We want it to be a little bit brighter yellow, not a creamy, buttery, yellowy color. Okay. Sometimes I start with the yellow in the middle. And I should keep the other brushes out because I like to go back and forth between the colors. Kind of go over those lines of demarcation in between them.
And the orange is what color again?
The orange was Tangerine Twist and then Wild Dandelion here. Pretty. And don't worry if it ever looks a little blotchy because it definitely smooths out so much once everything dries. You get this perfect fade. All right, now for green, I have a green out here already. I have Jelly Bean. Let's just use Jelly Bean. Why not? Okay. This is such a fun way to use Master Layout 7 with some of these cover plates. All right. Jelly Bean. Get a little more yellow in there. And let's do Turquoise Sea next. I have it somewhere. You know what else is another good color for here? And I really need a new turquoise brush. Oh, no, I don't. Here it is. Another really good color in here is Emerald Coast. Putting Emerald Coast right in here. It is a green, but it has that blue undertone that I love. So you could use that instead of Turquoise Sea if you wanted. I know, I love a good rainbow card, especially in the spring. Did I not get any turquoise on there? Hello? Is my turquoise that dry? Man. I'm going to try some blue sky instead. I definitely need to re-ink that. I think I said that during my last video that I needed to re-ink it. But that's really needs to be re-inked. But blue sky will work here too. Once we hit the blue sky over the green, it makes turquoise. That was funny.
Your turquoise sea is no more.
It's no more. It needs to be re-inked. Finally. Finally. And then we're going to do some of that purple. So let's do the medium lilac since it's out here. Okay, and I'm coming up from the bottom with the lilac. That's pretty. That was very funny. Just looking at it like, what, did I just go colorblind or something? I can't see at all where I put it. But you know. Okay. So now we'll just put that aside for a second. Get that off of here. I'm going to wiggle it off. And now we're going to adhere these two panels together with some Connect glue. Just brush away the frays. All right, so you don't have to ink everything, but it's not a bad idea to get in between a little bit. Did I say re-ink? I mean glue. I've got re-inkers on my brain. And this is the back of this, this cover plate. And I will list everything that I used in today's video in the description on YouTube. So if you are watching on Facebook, you can always head over to YouTube. You get a lot more information there because they give me space to do all of that. And Facebook, you guys know Facebook videos go away after 30 days now. So I put all the pertinent information over on YouTube. But we'll always have high quality photos of these cards put up in our Facebook group and also on my posts tab here on my YouTube channel. You want to make sure that this is facing in the right direction. And now we can just put this together. There we go. Get rid of the frays. Now, this is going to go on top of that. And isn't that just so pretty and fun? It's just so festive and happy. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to just do dots of glue. It is good to get the dots of glue all the way around the perimeter. You can do a thin line if that works better for you. You can also, I think I showed you guys a while back, just to scribble some glue on and take your finger and just kind of rub it over there like a thin film of it. You can do that. But I don't feel like getting too sticky right now, so this works.
Okay, Liz wants to know, since Gina's turquoise needs re-inking, can she do it on her show so new people will know how to do that?
Sure. Yeah, I will look as soon as I am done making this card, and if I have the turquoise sea re-inker, I will re-ink it for you right now. And if I don't, I won't re-ink it until the next show. How's that for a deal? This video will just be packed with tips and tricks and techniques. But I get it. I mean, once you see it, you'll see how easy it is. Okay. Now we're going to put this on top of this. Just make sure that you get it right up to the edge. This way you know nothing will stick out and the stitches won't show. And this might be a little damp still from inking.
That is amazing.
But we'll just put a little pressure on that for a second. And then I have a big acrylic block that I can just pop on there to hold it down. Another acrylic block that I can put there just to hold it down, and we'll just like let that sit there for a second. Now, we need to pick a color card base for this, and I feel like white might be the right color because we'll do the little black outline and then it won't take away or it won't favor any of the colors in the rainbow. So let's do a white card base. You got to try it with the other cover plates too. We've got the poppies and we've got the roses. And just the rainbow is so easy to do. You know, it doesn't take anything to do that. Just some inking right down the front of your card, and it's so quick. And let the cover plate be the star. All right, so 6.5.
Demo request for the T rule too.
Oh yes, as soon as I need it for something, I will definitely demo it. And then we're gonna go here to 6.25. in an upcoming video, I think I will be needing it, so that will work. All right, let's hope that I pick the right side here. So we're going to go 3 1/4. And we'll pop that right into the side there. And we'll smush it down the side of the tool, scoring tool. Okay. So that's looking good. Now, on the inside here, I'm going to create a little pouch off to the side, right here, off to the side, using this little stitched box, little stitched rectangle that we cut from Master Layout 7. And what this is going to do is this is going to give me a little flap in here that I can stick my money in. Okay. Now you can also do it this way if that makes it easier. Just lock it in on the side here. But I feel like depending on how this card is going to open, if it opens this way, then I would do it down here. And if it opens this way, then I would probably do it over here. Like that. So I haven't decided. I think I'll do another vertical card. I don't know. Should I do a... Let's see what kind of greeting I want to put in here, because I feel like this would be a really good congratulations kind of card. And I think, let's see, or it could be a birthday card. It would be fun to have this happy birthday greeting on there. That could work. Happy birthday. Because I feel like you don't need much for this. We just really need a greeting. We could use a big die cut word. I do have some die cut words here. Let's see what I have. I have a big friend. I have a big friend. I have a big hello here that I kind of broke, but we still might be able to get the idea, even though I broke this. A big hello in there. That's kind of cute, actually. I like that. Let's see if I have another unbroken one. I think that's the only one. We'll have to use the broken hello if we use it. Yeah. I got a lot of them cut out, but most of them over here are white that I cut out. We could use that. I do like the way that looks. It's so big and fun. Do I have any other hellos that aren't broken? Because I don't know where that die is. I mean, it might be here. Let's see what else I have in my bits and pieces over here. Let's see if I have any other words. Okay, so this is a white hello, but I colored it pink. That's a different style. If I have one of these, I could cut it out real quick. Either one will probably work. We could use hello. Okay, let me find the die. It's around here. And if not, we'll piecemeal that thing together. So let's see. I got all my words over here. Here we go. That also has a shadow die, the hello. So if you wanted to have a shadow to kind of block the color, but I don't really want to do that because I want to see all the color. So let's just do a big hello. And we could, you know what we could do? We could say hello, and then on the inside here, we could stamp, let's see, so very proud of you. Like right here on the bottom of the box, we could stamp that. So this way, or birthday wishes to you. It could be like a big fun birthday gift that you're sending to somebody. So that's what we'll do. We will stamp something on here, and then we'll die cut hello, and we'll turn this into a very fun card. All right, we'll start with stamping on this box. how my brain works, right? It's like you'd have to sit here and listen to me think it through. So I apologize for that. So we'll stamp the birthday greeting right here. We'll do that with some black, and then we'll cut that hello out of black. Can't believe I haven't used this stamp yet, and it's such a nice stamp. I love that block style writing because it works with anything. So like in the case of this design, it's going to work perfectly because we've got kind of like that scripty look on the outside, and then that pretty block style on the inside. They'll be very nice together. Alrighty. So let's get the die cutting machine out and we'll cut a hello or two. We'll do the big machine here. And I need some black cardstock. Now I know I must have black cardstock somewhere, a little piece that I can use. That's going to be too little. Here we go. Okay. So we're going to cut this out. Now this is a more detailed die. So this is one of those times where I'm going to turn my intracut up just a little bit, just to make it a little bit tighter because of all those little details. Yes, Jan, you can use the fuse foiling gel just to add shine to something, for sure. Okay. So with these intricate dies too, you want to be a little careful when you pull them out of the die that you don't break anything off, like any little arms or legs. Die arms and legs. So there we go.
Broken Hello.
Broken Hello?
Sounds like a band name.
It does. So there we go. And I'm just like... So we'll do one more so that we can stack them. And you know, you can always like use cheaper cardstock to stack. You don't have to use your good cardstock if you don't want to. You can use packaging. You can use anything. But I do like when I'm using black to, at least if I'm using cheaper cardstock, to edge it first in black to make sure that, you know, it's black along the edges too. A broken hello. I don't want to break this one. There we go. They're only broken in my box there because there's just so many of them and they were just all tangled up. And I probably in a rush grabbed something that was stuck to it and just yanked on it too hard. But with these, you definitely want to take your time pulling it out of the die because look how delicate that is. That is so thin, skinny little parts. Alrighty. I think I'm going to love this card. I'm very excited about it. Okay, get this out of here, and we'll worry about cleaning it up later. Get all my little bits and pieces out of the way. Okay. What does that say, Tom?
This is Dawn. This is Dawn's first time commenting. She loved your YouTube videos for years and classes with SCT.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, welcome. It's always fun. It's always fun to have newer people commenting. And, of course, we love our repeat offenders, too. Who's a repeat offender out there?
Hardcore.
Hardcore repeat offender. Okay. I know we have a lot of people that just enjoy watching and they don't really, you know, feel the need to chime in, and that's okay. I'm kind of like that. Sometimes I'll watch videos when I'm like having lunch. I'll get onto somebody's live and I'll just watch. Like sometimes Kathy Zilski, I'll watch her lunchtime lives. And sometimes I comment and sometimes I'm just in the background eating and having greasy fingers and don't want to touch my screen. I know Kathy told me sometimes she watches me when she's in bed and she doesn't comment, like on a Tuesday night. But it's okay. We love the commenters and we love the people that are just here enjoying. All right, so I'm taking my time going across this just a little bit at a time, lining it up, because it is delicate. You just want to take your time. No rush. We're not in a hurry. And then I am going to just clean out some of those little areas of like where you get the little strings. I just take my pick and stick tool and kind of, can you see them? Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit to show you what I'm talking about. How if you just take your pick and stick tool and you kind of just go along the edge, see it just kind of brushes those off. And that just happens sometimes, especially with the really, really intricate dies. But you can just get rid of most of that just by kind of rubbing your tool along the edge there. That looks pretty good, pretty clean. Okay. So now it's time to assemble this card. And we're going to put the hello here like that. And then we're going to do this on the inside of the card base. Now, where did the card base go? Oh my gosh. Am I that bad that I have to recut the card base? Oh, it's up here. Okay, had the money in it. I saw the money. Let me zoom back out again because I am really, really close. Okay, so to put this panel in, I think what we're going to use is some of our terrific tape. And I have a couple different thicknesses of terrific tape, but the one that I'm going to use is this one right here. It's the 1/8 of an inch. We want the skinniest terrific tape that we can get. And we're only going to put it on this side and on the bottom. So what's nice about this tape is you don't have to cut it, which I really like. You can just tear it. And I'm going to put it right as close to the edge as I possibly can. Now I know I went over that corner there, so before I do that, I'm going to really press down on it. And then I'm going to pull the liner off. And then this liner might pull up on that because it was underneath, but it came out. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to lay this right on the very corner here. As close to the edge as I can get it, because the money is really close to the same size, so we don't want to have too much of a border around there. But that money should fit in there pretty well, like that, and we're still going to be able to close it like that. And you also, you know, you can jazz it up a little. I mean, you could like fold it and put it in there so it's more centered, like that.
You could poke 2 holes or punch 2 holes and have Andy Roo's eyes coming through.
Whose eyes?
Andrew.
I thought you said Andy Rooney.
Andy Roo.
Is Andy Rooney on the $20 bill? I didn't know that. Okay, and I'm going to get one of these black panels that we cut with Master Layout 7. And we will tape this right down onto it. Now we have a cute little money holder. Because graduations are right around the corner, guys. I know it's hard to believe that we're already almost there, but See how nice that looks when you get the black on there? It just, and it would be pretty this way too. You know, either direction it would be pretty. But I think for this big hello, it's kind of nice to have it in the horizontal angle. Plus it's nice to, you know, be able to see it used both ways, have some full cards made that you can see in both directions. And now this, I'm just going to put some Connect glue on this, on the back. And we can add a few little embellishments. All right. The fine tip bottle really comes in handy when you're using something this skinny. You can see how tiny my dots are, especially when you get into these areas, because you definitely want all of this to stick down. And remember, you know, you're on top of a cover plate, so it's not a flat surface, so as much glue as you can get on there, the better. And I'm going to put it just like that on there. Hold it down for just a second. Just getting rid of all the any little black parts. And I'm just going to put that heavy block on there again. I'm going to just put this in my pocket. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. And then we could put some fun little gold pearls on this one, since we did silver on the other one. Why not? Oh, look, this little yellowy one jumped in. But we can, let's see what would work here. We can just kind of tuck them in and around. I've got some glue on my pick and stick tool. I know I don't need that many out, but it does actually help to not have to turn them over. It's kind of fun. Maybe we'll do a couple more. Do one down there. And using my odd number rules in this case, we'll add one there. And that kind of just accents around the hello. Got a little piece of black in there. So I will add those little pearls to this. Black pearls would have looked cool too. So I don't know, maybe you guys would like the black pearls. Let's just look. Do you like the black pearls? Because, I mean, you know, all that fun black. Oh, I kind of like this better, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it. I feel like it's more graphic and fun. Are they liking this better, Tom?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, good. We're all on the same page on this one, I think. We could add a few more. One in there. Maybe one down here. Yeah, I feel like it just accents the whole design a little bit. Yeah. And I've been using so much gold and silver. It's kind of fun to have a project that you can add those black ones. Okay, so wish me luck here. I'm doing one at a time. Left hand gluing is not my forte, but I'll do my best. Yes. Love this. I love this card. So do you guys have a favorite card for today? No, this is kind of feeling like a favorite, but then I also like that we did a masculine card, and I like that we did a floral card because I love florals. Do I need one more up here, or am I good? I gotta look. I can't let it go. I gotta see, do I need one more up here? Like kind of Yeah, I feel like I do. I feel like I do. It's like I'm not going to sleep unless I add this one. There we go. Okay, enough. Enough with the embellishments. Enough with the second guessing. We're going to be good with this. All right, let's take a look at all of our cards today. So we have this one, which is the money holder. We have this little flap in here. I'll put the money back in. I'm going to just fold that over a little bit. So we've got our little money holder card. Birthday wishes to you. We've got that one. Then we've got the floral one that we did. And then we've got the little masculine lighthouse one. All right. I think we did good. I think we accomplished quite a bit today. All right. Which one's your favorite, Tom?
Oh, my. They are all breathtaking, but I have to go with the lighthouse.
The lighthouse, yeah, that little ocean-y theme. Put this back in my pocket again. All right, well, you know, some master layouts videos I do 4 or 5 cards. Some that are a little more complex, you're going to see a little bit less, but you're going to get, you know, maybe some more in-depth look at the different parts. But like both of these cards, these two used every single bit and piece in the Master Layouts 7 set. And this one shows you how our coordinating cover plates work so nicely with the Master Layouts 7. So again, I'll take high quality photos of these and I'll share them on Facebook in our Facebook group, and I'll also share them here on YouTube on the Posts tab. All right, well, Tom, we've got to give away a gift card, but before we do, if you guys like the video, and we sure hope you have, we would love it if you would give this one a thumbs up. And also, if you're not subscribed yet, come on and join us as a subscriber. Hit the notification bell and all notifications so you never miss another video. And come and join us on our Facebook group. We've got 48,000 crafters that share. They're great. They're amazing people, and they share all their beautiful Gina K Designs projects. That Facebook group is called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends, and we would love to have you join us over there. Then if you see anything here that you like and you maybe missed a link from Brianne, you can always find everything I used here on our website at ginakdesigns.com. All right, Tom. Well, are you ready to do a giveaway today?
Let us begin.
All
Drum
right.
roll, please. And the winner is Michele Holbrook. Michele Holbrook.
Yay, Michelle. Congratulations. You win a $15 Gina K Designs gift card. So we would love it if you would just send your name and your email address over to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get that digital gift card out to you. They don't expire, so you could save it for our next release or for whenever you want a little something. All right, everybody. Well, Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with our 200,000K subscriber video. Our live, we're going to have all kinds of really big prizes and gift cards. Tom's going to make a card. I'm going to make a card. We're going to have a challenge for all of you, and we would love for you to join us in that as well. And then next Thursday, we'll be back with another edition of our Master Layout series. We'll be focusing on Master Layouts 8. That is our 5x7 Master Layouts, and there's lots of fun things you can do with that. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.